Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well, hope you're all doing fantastic, and that you're all having a great day. As always, likes on the video are very much appreciated as they do help out the channel, and they're also free to give. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. A bit of a weird news day. You'll see a lot of stuff is kind of jumbled up together. Bitcoin ETFs are of course still in the news. They tend to hog a lot of the spotlight. Apparently Morgan Stanley is reportedly set to approve Bitcoin ETFs for all of their clients by the end of August. The news has been for quite some time, and I mean this also expands to the wider financial world and also into the cryptocurrency space. We began to hear that a number of years ago, a lot of banks and institutions became interested in crypto. It seems commonplace now, but around 4 to 5 years ago, we were still like waiting to see who was going to enter the space. And what ended up happening is that when a lot of banks announced that they were getting into crypto, they were only, like 95% of them were only allowing their institutional and or very wealthy clients to actually purchase Bitcoin from them. And this goes well beyond the idea of even the ETFs. This is why I keep saying and have been saying for a while, we know that these banks have been buying Bitcoin because they've been offering them to their clients as well. And there was a lot of fanfare, a lot of excitement around the idea of banks kind of lightly, if you will, bending the knee to begin to offer Bitcoin to their clients, and therefore, that was going to spread across the world. What ended up happening is that they were only for their wealthiest clients. So now we're seeing the rollout, or the beginning of the rollout, of kind of a Bitcoin for everyone kind of thing. It's a really weird world and a really weird system because Bitcoin has been for everyone from the get-go, and everyone has had access to Bitcoin on crypto exchanges even now. But a lot of these larger institutions, of course, they want you to buy from them. They want you to give them a fee for something that you could also do on your own. So they're announcing that they're going to allow all of their clients to finally have access to the Bitcoin ETFs, which is also nonsense because their normal clients could have also already had access to the ETFs through other means. Researcher called House of Chimera, citing a senior source, shared this information, marking a pivotal movement in the institutional adoption of digital assets. And there's a little tweet for it right there. So cool. Fantastic. Awesome. I hope it works out for them. I assume that it will. There's a lot of constant ETF news for Bitcoin, mainly at the moment for Bitcoin floating around. For those of you not looking at the screen, ETF inflows over the course of the month of July have been absolutely staggering. We're seeing a really weird trend where for some reason, whatever reason, retail investors, everyday normal people, your average Joe, they're not into the market right now. And a lot of people seem perplexed as to why. Historically, usually, we tend to see people rush back into the market when we reach new all-time highs, when prices go higher, when people kind of FOMO and realize that they could have gotten in at a cheaper price, but they end up buying in later, what have you. The retail momentum is not there, despite seeing that the amount of Bitcoin flowing into the ETFs, which is constantly the new narrative right now, they're doing extremely well. I think just Fidelity alone, I think they accumulated around 16,000 Bitcoin over the course of July alone. And in total, at least the last numbers that we got towards the middle end of July was around 41,158 Bitcoin were accumulated just by the ETF issuers. There's still, and probably will never be, a lot of Bitcoin left for everyday People, the numbers are floating around once again as to how much Bitcoin the ETF issuers have. It's floating between 900,000 and 1,000,000 coins. April seems to be the worst month that we had, and even then the outflows weren't that significant. If you're not looking at the screen, in January there were inflows of 33,000 Bitcoin. February was 116,000 Bitcoin. March was 65,000 Bitcoin. And in April, the outflows were 6,000 Bitcoin. Remember in April when everyone was terrified and afraid? Like this is insignificant. This is absolutely nothing compared to these three numbers right here. And then even since then, the amount of inflows for Bitcoin is absolutely staggering. These people are buying 4 or 5 times the amount of Bitcoin that's being mined per day, just exclusively through the ETFs. For those of you who are also missing the news, I don't have it here because it seems relatively redundant. The whales are also buying up tons of Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. The amount of Bitcoin on crypto exchanges continues to go lower and lower. The only people who are depositing Bitcoin onto crypto exchanges are either very rich people who are trying to make people think that they're selling off their coins. As long as I've been in this market, and I will tell you this as a fact, this is not tinfoil hat. This is a literal fact. As long as I've been in this market, any time that there's news about a large amount of Bitcoin hitting a cryptocurrency exchange, it's always, those coins have always been taken off of the cryptocurrency exchange about a couple of weeks or a month later. Those exact same coins. Rich people do that to put their coins onto exchanges, to show that there's an inflow into the exchanges, to show that they might potentially sell off their coins. They end up not selling off their coins. The price ends up going down. So remember when I said there are 2 types of people who put their coins onto crypto exchanges right now? It is very rich people trying to get you to sell your coins, and it's normal everyday people who don't have a lot of money, who don't have a lot of assets, who put their coins onto exchanges to sell them. Because they see that the market has gone down by 6%. They end up being absolutely terrified. They sell off their coins. The whale who put their coins on the exchange takes those coins off. The other coins that were put on by normal people get bought up. We get news that the ETF inflows continue. We get news that the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges continues to drop. And it's the same cycle over and over. So at this point, I am all but certain. The world in the next couple of years is going to not only be ridiculous, but there are going to be hundreds and thousands, if not millions, of people who would normally benefit from a $1 million Bitcoin, but they're not going to have any Bitcoin because the moment any kind of slightly negative news comes out, people end up panicking. They sell off their coins and then they end up being bought up now by whales and also by the ETFs. You might notice June only, air quotes only, had 8,700 Bitcoin inflows. That was because of the news from Germany that you were all lied to about by every other crypto YouTuber who told you to panic because Germany was selling off their coins. You want the governments to sell off their coins. You don't want one entity to have 200, 300, 150,000, 75,000 Bitcoin. That Bitcoin belongs in the hands of people. The more people we have in the market, the stronger it becomes. If one government can sell off their coins and you have 380,000 people who buy up fragments of those coins, our market gets stronger. Anywho, yeah, that's all the ETF news, I guess. People are ridiculous. I was gonna say surprised, but people are ridiculous that the ETFs are doing well and that money's flowing back into them and that the market's doing this, and is like, pick up a book, just read. It's like it's getting exhausting sometimes. Even the news that we had, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, that like retail's not in the market. Everyday people are allowing all the Bitcoin to be bought up by whales and institutions. And then sometime around February 2025, when prices are pumping, normal people will rush back into the market, be buying at $100,000 Bitcoin. They're going to be annoyed because they don't have enough Bitcoin, and the cycle once again continues. Anywho, that's the Bitcoin ETF inflows in July news. Yeah. Moving along. So I saw this news and I almost screamed. Like I'm not even half joking. A couple of days ago, I mean, this is a literal couple of days ago. I'm going to try and give you the condensed version. Before Bitcoin ETFs launched, Grayscale had a Bitcoin trust. Their Bitcoin trust got converted into a Bitcoin ETF. And part of the huge problem is that Grayscale, while other ETFs were accumulating, their ETF was selling off Bitcoin. I'm sure you remember. It's not because their Bitcoin's dirty or people can't pronounce the word Grayscale. The problem is that every other ETF issuer had an ETF fee, what you had to pay the issuer, of 0.15%, 0.25%, 0.440%, 0.5%. Grayscale, for some reason, kept their fee at 2.5%. It's too high. So everyone was like, I don't want to pay that high fee when I could get a 0% fee from BlackRock. So people began to sell off their coins en masse from Grayscale. That was part of the reason why you also saw prices dropping dramatically towards the beginning or early-ish part of spring. Then Grayscale came forward. I remember I made a video and I was like, what's wrong with them? You are the company. You can change your fee anytime that you want. It's not difficult. Just say, hey, we're going to change our fee to become more competitive. They went on to CNBC and said that they were not going to change their fee. What they were going to do is that they were going to lower their 2.5% fee when the market matured. We were just talking about this, and I was like, that's nonsense. Just lower it right now. Sorry for screaming into the microphone. A couple of months after, they announced miraculously that they were going to be launching a mini Bitcoin ETF. The idea was, keeping their normal Bitcoin ETF to the side, they were going to be launching a mini Bitcoin ETF that had a lower fee so that it was better for people to get into it. And you sit there and you go, why are you making a mini Bitcoin ETF when you already have a normal Bitcoin ETF? Their answer was, well, we want to make our shares have a smaller price so everyday normal people can get into it. Well, that's fantastic. Why aren't you lowering the fee from your normal Bitcoin ETF that has hundreds of thousands of dollars, of millions of dollars of outflows every single day? A couple of days ago, we got word or rumors were circulating that Grayscale, there were 5 companies who've been allotted the Ethereum ETF. Then we got news that allegedly it was also BlackRock and Grayscale had also been approved for their Ethereum ETFs. Cool. The problem is that the news that we got is that Grayscale announced that once again, their Ethereum ETFs would have a fee of 2.5%. The same exact amount that caused the market to drop because everyone was selling from the Grayscale ETF. And I said a couple of days ago, I said, I swear to goodness, I know they're working on it. I knew that Grayscale was working on a mini Ethereum ETF. And can you guess what the news is today? Grayscale is launching a mini Ethereum ETF. I'm not even joking. This is the weirdest thing in the entire world. Why they continue to not lower their fees on their other ETFs to get more business and also stop any situation where people might sell off their coins, I could not tell you if I tried. The SEC has approved crypto asset manager Grayscale's mini Ethereum exchange traded fund. The green light came on Wednesday along with approval for asset manager ProShares Ethereum ETF. This new mini Ethereum ETF is going to have a fee of, I believe, 0.15%, the same as their mini Bitcoin ETF. This might be one of the weirdest companies that we've ever had within this space. I don't know if keeping the fees higher for their normal ETFs is meant to be some form of price market manipulation where you try to make sure that the outflows happen from the, I don't know. I literally can't conceptualize why anyone as a company would keep their fees high when you see that BlackRock has extremely, like, you would want to competitively beat BlackRock, no? You want to raise your fee to 10 times what everyone else in the industry has. So who knows what the heck is going to happen? I did not expect this until the end of August. I was expecting August. It's already here. So yeah, that's the weird grayscale news. I don't know what's up with that company. I literally, I can't put it all together. That's the Grayscale has been given the green light to launch their mini Ethereum ETF while keeping the fees for their other ETFs in crypto at extremely high rates. Okay. Let's move on. Also in what? Binance US said on Monday that they're looking forward to defending themselves against the US SEC following a court's decision to allow the regulator's case against the crypto exchange to proceed. The US SEC claimed sometime last year, maybe the year before, I don't remember. The SEC has completely lost their minds, and they basically said that every crypto exchange was running an unregistered security something or other. Every other exchange kind of lightly bent the knee, and they were like, okay, cool, we'll pay a fine, we'll pay a fee. I believe Kraken left the US, as did Binance. And then Binance years ago was kind of forced, if they wanted to continue doing work within the US, they had to make a Binance US. The problem is that after making a Binance US and complying with local regulations or trying to do what they could, because the SEC does not give regulatory advice, and we know this because every crypto exchange has posted online or posted on Twitter at some point, these are the documents that we send to the SEC. They told us we try to contact the SEC once a week. Every 2 weeks, we get no response from them. We've sent them letters. We've sent them emails. And then somewhere down the line, the SEC has sued all of them, saying you are all being unregulatorily compliant. It's clearly some form of obscene corruption that no one in the U.S. seems to be doing anything about. So now we've gotten to the next page in the chapter where Binance US, after being created because the apparently the normal Binance wasn't regulatorily compliant, and then making Binance US, which was regulatorily compliant, but they still got in trouble with the SEC. Now they're going to court, and I think Binance tried to get it thrown out, and the judge was like, no, they can remain. So now they're talking about they're looking forward to the court case. Does no one do anything about corruption in the US? That's not a joking question either. I remember years ago thinking, I was like, the US is probably going to be like the leader in crypto. Their regulations are going to happen swift and fast, and they're literally going to be the industry leader, and no one will ever be able to like overtake their crypto system, mechanism, whatever word you want to use. No. This is why we're seeing like a huge amount of brain drain from the US, and why even I don't have the metric here. I'm sure you can Google it. I think Europe is now like one of the top places in the world for crypto, and I think also crypto mining as well. And is also like expanding around the world in other places. It's so confusing. It's so utterly confusing. And even more so, don't ever forget this. This was 3 or 4 months ago, where Gary Gensler came forward and he said he didn't understand why people weren't complying with regulations. He was like, I've given you everything. And every exchange, every company was like, you haven't done anything. You haven't said a word. You haven't given us any paperwork. So, yeah, it's exhausting. So cool, I guess. I don't know. Should something significant happen, I'm sure we will hear from Binance about it. It's sad. It's like it's actually really, really terrible what's happening, but that's just the world that we live in. Okie dokie. Let's move on. Also in the news, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Island residents can now trade Shiba Inu through Robinhood's trading platform. I still remain, if someone can explain this to me, I'll give you a digital cookie because I just don't get it. Unless I'm mistaken, wasn't Robinhood I think I'm right. Wasn't Robinhood the company who like stopped stock trading before, and also for AMC and for GameStop, and also was having issues with like Dogecoin and all these other things? Am I missing something? You know, the company that allegedly like stopped tons of people from making money. Okay. Robinhood remains incredibly popular. So apparently now the news is through Robinhood, people in Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands can now have access to Shiba Inu. This was very popular news because the word Robinhood is there. Now, unless I've missed something in the last decade, you know that you're also able to like buy Shiba Inu on like other platforms, right? You don't have to like wait for Robinhood to always have an announcement of what you can do. Remember years ago when Robinhood announced that they were allowing people to like trade and use Dogecoin, and the price of Dogecoin skyrocketed, and I was like, you know, it was already on Kraken, on Binance, and on Coinbase for like 6-7 years already, right? So cool. Shiba Inu continues to be incredibly popular. There's barely every day, barely any Dogecoin news. I'm not seeing any Dogecoin news at all. There is, however, a lot of Shiba Inu news. Also, so comma there as well. Lucy, apparently the marketing specialist for the Shiba Inu ecosystem, has apparently shared an exciting update about Shiba Inu burns. The marketing lead revealed that she is cooking something special with Shibacles, a project focused on leveraging blockchain to authenticate physical collectibles. Oh, that's terrible. So it's Shiba Inu collectibles. So it's Shibacles? Okay. Despite not providing much insight or details about the collaboration, Lucy urged Shiba Inu community members to prepare for some SHIB burn. Yeah, Shiba Inu burn news is in the news every day, unless it's like something like hyper significant. You don't need to hear about it every single day, but typically Shiba Inu's burn rate is going up several 1,000% every single week. There's a huge amount of Shiba Inu being burned. We recently had some Binance burning Shiba Inu news because that's always there as well. Yeah. It's an incredibly popular coin, a popular ecosystem. A lot of people like it a lot. I'm still crossing my fingers for all of you because a couple of years ago, I would have never thought that Shiba Inu would have made it this far or remained this popular. But going over the news, there's been a whole bunch of promises of ecosystems and layer 2s and metaverses and all these other things on Shiba Inu. And hopefully, I guess maybe the coin burn will pick up more as the market continues to recover. But cool. That's all the Shiba Inu news. Like, once again, there's never Dogecoin news at all anymore. It's just Shiba Inu. Yeah. Let's move on. And also in the news as well, Binance is in the news because they burned 1.7 billion Terra Luna Classic. So as far as I can gauge or can tell from the news that's been floating around out there, it looks like there are rumors of a revival of the stable coin from Terra Luna. This is the news that I'm interpreting, that I saw. And I think the revival of that coin was proposed for Terra Luna Classic. And something about community members or leaders, I don't remember. They're trying to like basically still try and bring Terra Luna Classic back. The assumption, similar to Shiba Inu, is that people think that Shiba Inu will go to 1 cent and create a bunch of Shiba Inu millionaires. The number for Terra Luna Classic, if I remember correctly, is $1. People think that Terra Luna Classic will go to $1 at some point and also make a bunch of Terra Luna millionaires or something like that. But they're also on a coin burn crusade, I believe, similar to Shiba Inu. As transactions happen on the network, Terra Luna Classic is burned, similar to XRP. And also, there are some exchanges, and Binance being the largest exchange, they keep making it into the news. Binance has a monthly or a quarterly, I don't know what the time frame is. There's a burn for Shiba Inu and a burn for Terra Luna Classic as well, where basically every couple of months they do like a massive coin burn. And the one for Terra Luna Classic, we haven't had Terra Luna Classic news in a long time. The Terra Luna Classic burn was 1.7 billion coins. So of course this is going to be astronomical and popular and all that other stuff in the news. Besides that, there's no real Terra Luna Classic news. I saw rumors of the revival of the stablecoin. Should that be done? That's a gigantic question mark in the sky. I would like if projects kind of became their own projects and like did their own things. Everyone is constantly just mimicking and copying what someone else is doing or where the success from that came from. Is also used as a way to like give projects longevity. You kind of just like, you see what the top coins are doing, and then you say that you're going to do the exact same thing, but you'll roll those things out over the course of multiple years. So cool. Not going to knock it. It's more of I'm all for like the revival of chains and stuff like that, but I hope they do something. I hope they actually like give value to the community. I hope they, deliver on all the things that they say that they were going to do. Yeah, that's the Terra Luna Classic burn from Binance News. Hope you've all been doing well. Hope everyone's good out there. I know that, and I'll tell it to you this way. I mentioned before, and I've said it over the years, I try my best to stay away from the news. I know a lot of people, you want to be informed and all this other stuff, but it's not worth it most of the time. The last couple of years, the news has been far too intense for my body, for my mind, for my soul. So it's okay, to like not watch normal news or to not get involved and to just kind of, hang out and do something nice for yourself. I know some people think that sounds cheesy, but you will feel a lot better because I keep seeing, this has been going on for a while, but I'm seeing all these people like fighting on Twitter and stuff like that about stuff that has nothing to do with them. All it does is create like extra stress on top of you. You already have tons of stress. Life already is stressful. So as always, make sure to take care of yourself in any sort of way that you can. Whatever makes you happy, go out and do it. Please, for the love of goodness. I'm not joking. Most of my YouTube content is either stuff with crypto, stuff with people playing video games, stuff with like people eating amazing food. And I have recently started watching a bunch of TV shows, rewatching TV shows like that I grew up with from the 90s. It's all my brain can handle right now. Yeah, make sure to take care of yourself. I told you, and I keep telling you all, this is a rough market. This is a rough, yeah. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.